This is 5 Round MMA. I am Guillermo Cita alongside Alex Ramirez and Albert Cita. We have an action-packed show as we talk. It's a big fight week. We have Fox Sports 1, Kampman versus Condit 2, and then we have UFC 164, Pettis versus Henderson. And then alongside that, we have latest news and headlines courtesy of FiveRoundMMA.com. We have Sonnen versus Silva, a no-go, then a go, then a no-go again. Then we have the Dragon, Lyoto Machida, making his debut at 185. We have Belfort versus Henderson. Is it one and done for Eddie Alvarez? And then we have Kampman versus I. Is there any? Well, let's start from the top. Sonnen versus Silva, a no-go.
So this is a no-go, right?
Yeah.
After was a go?
Or is it a go because all that feud online?
I could have swore I saw a post from Wanderlei Silva, an Instagram post of him photoshopping.
Also, the fight already took place.
Yeah, he already knocked out Chael Sonnen, and then he wrote down, "Oh, I'm training hard for this. This is going to happen, or it's going to happen."
Vision in his...
Or like I don't know what's going on. And then Dana White says it's not going to happen.
It's almost a good thing that you didn't see the video. There's a video out there of him explaining what's going to happen.
Yeah,
it's very awkward.
Okay,
and
it's
scary.
it's like drinking his blood after the fight,
something like that.
So reports what's going to happen because Wanderlei wanted pay-per-view money. They wanted to co-head this had this fight co-headline UFC 167, which is being headlined by GSP. GSP draws massive amounts of pay-per-view money,
but
Wanderlei
wants some of that payper-view money. That's where the issue comes in. That's all it comes down to is money.
So as of right now, it's a no-go, but we shall see.
So next is Dragon. Lyoto Machida is making his debut at 185.
I think a very anticipated debut because I think this is years in the making.
Anticipated?
If you ask me.
I was really.
I mean, if you listen to the Cita theories I've been giving out, the game plan was drawn. And finally, it's starting to be revealed.
He's going to face Tim Kennedy, UFC Fight for the Troops in November. Kennedy's served the military, so it should be an interesting storyline there, him fighting in front of the troops against Machida, making his middleweight debut. But I think for Machida to be successful, he needs to be knocking people out at the middleweight division. Because there's no point of him getting decision victories.
That's true. And he has said that he is going to do more of an aggressive style now, and he knows that he has to look for that finish ultimately. And I think if he does get finished, I think that really does give him the next style shot at 185 right away.
Well, if he gets to the finish, he has maybe answer to Vitor Belfort, who finally agreed to fight somebody, right?
Which is a good transition.
And there's already a feud going on there. But let's go. It's Belfort versus Henderson made official.
Yeah.
Belfort finally picked somebody he actually wants to fight now.
And then where's it going to be held at?
In Brazil, where I think...
I wonder why.
Because TRT is going to be rampant there. Where they I think they're a little lenient on the drug testing.
Lenient is very flexible, if you catch my hint.
So Hendo said he couldn't use, or he wasn't allowed to use TRT in his last fight with the Rashad Evans, but he said he doesn't use it anyways. But he's been quoted as saying that he does use it. So I think now with the unlimited amounts of quantity of testosterone in the octagon...
It's pretty much going to be Godzilla versus Mothra in Brazil.
That's pretty what happened. The citizens of Brazil better beware and have emergency bunkers.
So the next one is it one and done for Eddie Alvarez? There's been a clause in his contract.
Well, it's kind of weird.
It's a 2-fight deal, I heard, right?
Yeah.
But it's kind of weird how this 2-fight deal. It's only a 2-fight deal if he wins.
Right.
So if he beats Michael Chandler, he has to give Michael Chandler the rematch. If he loses to Michael Chandler, I guess
he's free to go.
They'll let him. No, they won't let him just go.
Oh, of course,
he's allowed to go talk to UFC, and if he wants to go with the UFC, go with the UFC.
So I think
which is what's going to happen.
Even after the rematch, or which would be the rubber match, even if he wins that, I think he could still leave. So if he could beat Michael Chandler twice and still leave,
and that would cripple Bellator.
With the Bellator belt.
That means you have a weak champion.
Yeah.
So this is going to be interesting the way it plays out. And I mean, if you like novellas, stay tuned.
Well, if you ever saw Bret Hart,
are you saying there's screw jobs in the mix from Eddie Alvarez?
Possible.
Guillermo's calling shenanigans already. Fight hasn't happened yet.
So the next one is Kampman versus I.
Yeah. Speaking about staying with Bellator, Jessica I, she fought Bellator, but it looks like Bellator is not really going to keep that women's division, which is a sad news because they were kind of ahead of everybody else.
They've had women fight since the beginning, so
that kind of sucks. But at the same time, it's a blessing in disguise as far as for Jessica I in the UFC because Jessica is she's a big prospect,
former Strikeforce champion. Jessica I, former Bellator champion.
Yeah. And so it should be a good fight, and it should be a good way to keep on this women division rolling.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's it for latest news and headlines.
What do we got coming up next?
We have Kampman versus Condit 2 coming up. It's a packed week of fight. Well, we have Wednesday fights, and then we have Saturday fights. So
And we
Wednesday's
also
a free
have
one.
the results of the survey later on today.
yeah,
Yep.
we'll have the results for the survey as we close the show.
So stick around. We'll have a preview of UFC Fight Night, Condit versus Kampman. Stick around.
Please visit FiveRoundMMA.com on our social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. FiveRoundMMA.com. We have an action-packed week of fights. We start off with the preview of Condit versus Kampman 2.
Oh, Wednesday night fight card. That's pretty good, right?
Yeah, on
It's gonna be
FS1.
an awesome card.
Get over
And
the
it's
hump
free.
day pretty good.
Is it really an awesome card? I mean, not to be hating, but I mean, like, there's only like 3 or 4 names I'm really looking forward to. But
Well, I'll give it to you. I mean, it's
unless you're
I
really
mean,
excited for Corey McGee and Kelvin Gastelum.
don't you dare bring that up. Son. I hate
But
Corey McGee.
Kevin Gastelum is
I know you
fighting former guest of ours, Brian Melisson, right?
Yeah, and I think Brian Melson might
Yeah.
come
Coming
on
off a
top,
knockout win.
But let's start off. Is there anything on the undercard that really intrigues you?
I
Any
did wanna-
fighters?
Yeah, I think there's 2. There's Justine Edwards who has a win over John McGuire. So and he only has like 2 losses. So he's a fighter to look out for, and I think people should actually tune in this fight. And of course, my boy since day one, Papi.
The Puppy's returning.
The Papi's
Puppy
back. The
MDG.
Papi's going to fight, and the
Puppy's still on the undercard.
and Papi's still on the undercard.
He went from the Facebook fights to the prelims, right?
Hey. One step at a time, man. One step. You go from the main event, and you got to work your way back up. Anyways, well, Papi's fighting, and that's all you need to know. Tune in, watch some Papi, and see how.
Are you
it
calling
turns
another
out.
Puppy victory again?
Yes, I am.
There we go.
So let's start off on the main card. We have Bubba McDaniel versus Brad Tavares.
I don't know.
There's not much to say
Yeah.
to tell you the truth. I honestly, I think Brad Tavares is going to win that fight.
Yeah, I mean, so do
But
I.
there's
So do
not
I.
much. There's not a lot online here. Both guys still need to accumulate more wins to be significant in their weight class.
Yeah, but Bubba McDaniel, he's training with the Jackson camp. You know, he made a big deal on the tough.
He's tough enough. Yeah, but
Yeah.
again, he didn't have that.
You don't think he has the tools to be
Well, no,
relevant?
no,
in
no,
the
yeah,
UFC?
but-
he hasn't shown enough to be like, oh wow, Bubba's on the
Yeah.
card. You know,
That's true.
I mean, and they're in the tough division. I mean, middleweight division. It's hard to make.
It's kind of on shaky ground
Yeah.
right now, especially with like Vitor not fighting
So
anybody.
yeah, so you really need. That's what I'm saying. These
Machida
guys
dropping
need a couple
down.
more wins.
yeah.
So I wouldn't look out for this, but I mean, I guess
Yeah, it's like you could say, "Oh, I saw Bub McDaniel back on this card."
Yeah.
it could be the start of something for somebody, you know.
yeah.
So
But they still need to accumulate more wins.
Yeah.
So the fight I'm excited about, not because who he's fighting against, but just because I want to see him. Eric El Goyito Perez.
Imagine if they would have put him in the Cain Velasquez card.
I think that would have been
that
smarter,
would
but
have blew my mind.
I know. Well, I mean, I think for right now, Goito, Eric Perez is just thankful to be even fighting right now. He was quoted saying that he thought his leg was going to be amputated because he had a really bad staph infection.
Oh
So
yeah, that's right.
I think now he's just really happy. I mean, we can't really pick what card he's on, but I
Yeah.
think it's good to see him back, though.
On top of that, normally I would make the argument that this lineup is all mixed up, but I think this is perfect because you don't want to there's a lot of stock invested into Eric Perez, but at the same time, like you said, I mean, he's coming back from a big recovery, and we don't know exactly, so you don't want to put too much pressure on a guy like this.
Yeah.
You just want him to go out there and perform. That's all you want to do.
my question to you: will you be wearing your mask?
I wore my mask last night, so
He's been
of
wearing
course
it
I'll be wearing
Leading
it.
to the weigh-ins, the pre-fight
And
conference, post-fight
I don't
conference.
even have the legit mask. I got the one you can go to UFC.com, print out, and then like you cut it out. And
The
stuff.
paper
That's-
mask you put
Yeah,
around
that's
the back.
that's the one I wear.
Well, El Goyito is fighting Takai Mizug. What is it?
It's a tongue twister.
Mizukaki?
Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah,
so there you
but
go.
the important part here is Eric Perez is going to be fighting.
Yeah, I mean, it is in the bantamweight division, which is kind of clogged up right now because both champions are hurt. And even though Henry Brown is coming back to fight Eddie Wineland, Uriah Faber just made a big splash on his last fight. So, I mean, bantamweight's kind of a little bit top-heavy, I think, right now. But Goito, if he wins this fight, I think he's right up there.
Yeah.
Then we got Alex's boy.
Alex's boy.
Don't be quoting me.
Welterweight. Corey
Corey
McGee.
McGee.
This is the argument. Corey McGee is either one of your guys' boy versus
look
Robert
over here.
Whitaker.
I have never claimed
Well,
stake
Robert
to any
Whitaker
of
is
those two
also
men.
a tough person, and I think I got Robert Whitaker winning this. Corey McGee,
I
he's like
expected a lot.
vanilla. He's like vanilla. Because the guy, there's nothing cool about him, and
Yeah, I remember him on Tough, and I thought like he was gonna be like a bust out star, but he just
that's
just
why
kinda
he's your
just-
boy. That's exactly why you see.
I never said that.
Again, we get
I
that.
think I believe the Chuck Liddell hype because I think it was Chuck Liddell's coach during the season. So
Yeah.
Chuck Liddell really liked him a lot. So I don't know.
So
I
now
guess
let's
it's
move
Chuck
on to the
Liddell.
next one. It's a welterweight fight. It's tough enough winner, Calvin Gastelum versus Brian Melisson.
Well, Brian Milson we've had on the show.
Yeah.
And
He's a knockout.
He has such an amazing performance his previous fight.
Dangerous
And
power.
he's filling in for
Yeah.
someone.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, see, he's finally getting rewarded because look how high up he is on the card.
Yeah.
He went from not even being shown on televised to now being
Scoring a KO
Yep.
win to being accompanying the guy saying, yeah, I'll fight a tough winner
And now
on
he's in
short
the main
notice.
card.
Now he's on the main card.
Yeah,
so he has
so-
a big opportunity to be upset. This is a Gaslam's another fighter who won tough enough but drops down in division.
Yeah.
You think there'd be like a contract clause for that. Like you at least fight 3 fights in the division you
and
won.
then you can
And
move.
then you can drop down. But
Yeah.
he won it and just
It means a
dropped
lot.
down.
To me, it speaks a lot of volume that he's not going to be fighting in the middleweight division.
Yeah.
It means he can't keep up in that division. There's
Well,
too many.
If you saw his the way his body was built, you could tell that he didn't belong in that weight class.
Yeah.
You get to be like, oh, he. Can
But
get,
then it
he
speaks
can get,
to
he
the
can get a
talent
little bit
in the
leaner,
show.
he
Or
can
like
get more-
even the evaluation too. Like you think they can't see it when they're auditioning.
There-
Like this
well,
guy's gonna stay at
well,
welterweight.
there-
This guy's gonna
there's-
stay at middleweight.
There's a reason why he was also selected towards the end. He wasn't one of the top picks.
Yeah.
yeah, he was.
And it's
I think he
because
was the
the
last
way,
pick.
Yeah.
and that was because the way his body structure was.
Yeah, I'm just
It's the honest truth.
it's a reoccurring theme for tough winners, and I don't really like it. Like guys who win it in one division has dropped down.
Yeah.
Rashad Evans has done
Well,
it.
if
Michael,
you think
you know.
about it, because they have to fight four fights in a short amount of time, they
Yeah.
probably want to pick a weight class that they know they can
Sustain
make
without- yeah.
every week. So
But,
That's true, too.
yeah.
I didn't think about it like that. But the next one, your guys'
Oh,
boy, you guys,
yes.
one
Now
one
we're-
week you guys are like, oh man, Donald
Who?
Cerrone is the best. The next minute, Donald Cerrone needs to change his training camp. He
Well,
needs
maybe
to improve this because he's going rock climbing
it's
too
funny
much.
because everything you're saying right now, I agree with. I'm like, that's,
But
that's exactly what
It's a
goes
lightweight fight. It's Donald Cerrone versus Rafael Dos Anjos.
It's a good fight. I mean, these guys are amazing fighters, exciting fighters. I think Donald Cerrone kind of has more of the pressure out of the two, though. Because, I mean, he was delivering. They put him up there, and then he kind of...
Had a bad performance
Yeah.
against Nate Diaz.
And he had a horrible performance against Anthony Pettis.
It was more of a good performance by Pettis.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Because
But
that
so the way he lost, though...
Well, yeah, he got finished.
it showed
yeah.
weakness
Yeah.
to me.
But
so
then,
I think he's the one that has to
yeah.
prove himself. I think Dos Anjos can lose and still keep his job.
Yeah, this
While
one's
Cerrone, I think he might be in the
Well,
closest.
what
Cerrone
Cerrone do you
block.
think is going to show up?
I think Cerrone, the one that puts his game face on, chin down, and
Former
go,
title
go,
contender
go forward.
Donald Cerrone.
I think that's the one that's going to show up.
Well, that one
I-
needs to show up.
I think it's a big wake up call from his last fight because he's like, I cannot be losing like this. One,
Yeah,
and two,
well,
I cannot fall behind my colleagues. I mean,
yeah.
he was up there with Benson Henderson and Anthony
Anthony
Pettis.
Pettis, now
He
we
does
do.
not want to drop down any further than he is now, and I think he really needs to prove it.
You think a drop in weight class is possible for Donald
Well,
Cerrone?
if you look at
He's
it
already
again,
kinda skinny at
we go
155.
we go back to body structure. He looks like he's where he's supposed to be at, and I don't think he can drop any more than that.
Yeah.
It's only 10 pounds to
Well,
145.
we don't know
You
how-
say that. You
we
try-
don't know how much he
cut
drops
10
for
pounds.
easier than
155.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't even know how much he drops for 155 to begin with.
That's
so
true.
Yeah.
So
it can be tough.
let's move on to our heavyweight, our main event bout. It's a welterweight fight. It's my boy Carlos Condit versus Martin Kampman 2.
The only bone I got to pick with this fight is that I wish it would have happened sooner because I'm not as pumped as I should be, I guess.
Why not?
Oh.
It's Carlos Condit coming off two very big fights, taking it to the limit, decision victories. I mean,
And then Kampman got destroyed by Johnny Hendricks. Like the guy, like I'm
Carlos
surprised,
Condit didn't get
I'm
destroyed by
surprised
Johnny
he's
Hendricks
still
though.
alive.
The way he hit the mat was
Yeah,
pretty bad.
I mean, he hit that man nasty.
So it should be, to me, in my point of view, now that you're saying that, it should be an easy win for Carlos Condit.
I don't know
It
about
should.
that. I mean, I think you guys you guys underestimate Kampman. He has good striking ability. He's a tough welterweight.
Well, if you use Johnny Hendricks as a measuring stick,
If you look at the wins he had before the Johnny Hendricks knockout, they were like surprise wins.
Yeah, but like
he was
still wins,
clearly
though.
losing the fights. So I don't know.
Yeah, well,
I think I'm putting Kampman exactly where he belongs.
that proves his resiliency.
Yeah.
No, Kampman's resiliency. He
Yeah,
could
you have to
surprise
put
you.
I agree. You have to put him away.
Yeah.
but I don't think
You don't see like Condit peppering him all day, and then all of a sudden Kampman is going in for one final charge and getting a knockout.
it's possible.
Yeah.
But I see Condit probably finishing this pretty fast.
He needs to finish
so
this
do
fight.
I.
Because I think he's almost like on a little bit of fall from the top. He was the interim champion. 2 tough losses. I mean, even his win to get the championship from Nick Diaz wasn't very impressive. So people got criticized from there.
Yeah.
Goes on to lose. Doesn't really put GSP. He knocks GSP down, but like he couldn't do anything after that. And then, he loses to Johnny Hendricks. So I think he's kind of on a real down streak in his career right now.
I just don't think it's fair that someone on the very top fighting like top contenders, fighting for the belt consistently, gets knocked for losing 1 or 2 fights.
Well, I don't think he got knocked for losing. I mean, he's the main event for crying out loud. So.
But
Yeah,
as
but
you guys
not on pay-per-view.
say, against Martin Kampman.
Yeah, like you said, like Martin Kampman. And then you have someone like, let's say someone towards the bottom lose 2 consecutive fights,
Well,
3
also,
consecutive fights, and no one speaks to him. Like,
Not
hey,
to backpedal or anything like that, but just for his defense, real quick before we move on to the next segment, is that it's not his fault that there's the way it was scheduled, because I mean a lot this division is booked pretty much the whole year.
yeah.
What I want to know is are we going to receive a return of the natural born killer Carlos Condit?
Yes, I see a knockout.
Because that natural born killer disappeared from me a while ago.
I see a knockout, Dan Hardy style.
Oh wow.
Okay, wow, that's pretty.
Well, tune in. It's this Wednesday fight night.
All right, we shall see if the natural born killer returns. So stick around, guys. We'll have another preview of UFC 164, Henderson versus Pettis 2.
Please visit FiveRoundMMA.com on our social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. FiveRoundMMA.com. It's a week of rematches. We have Henderson versus Pettis at UFC 164.
I think it's the rematch that people didn't know they want, and once they see it, they're not getting enough of it.
I actually think this is the biggest card of the year.
I think so
over
too.
the other ones, and I don't think people know, and they should really, if they're going to order pay-per-view, I think this is the one to order, because this is going to be like fireworks.
We were
It's gonna
talking
be an awesome fight.
Off air about this match and how it could go down, but none of us could come to agreement.
No,
Like,
yeah, and I'm like,
I
Each on our own.
can't even pick a winner
Yeah,
sometimes.
we all
kinda-
kept going.
yeah.
I kept going back and forth. You kept going back and forth. Gemma kept going back and forth. It was
for
just,
once, or not for once, but I can't even remember the last time I felt this way. Where like
You
I'm
like
actually
both
going to
fighters?
just sit back and watch it.
yeah.
You know, like I'm not going to cheer for anybody. I just want to see it.
It's gonna be great to watch. I think.
It's blowing up my mind. This
On
matchup.
top of that, it's a great card, top to bottom. I think these fights are a lot better than the fight night.
Well, it is on
But-
pay per
Oh, it
view.
is.
So
And it's on pay-per-view, so
So-
I want to pay for this.
The only thing is the other card's a little bit lacking. I thought.
well,
The
any highlights from the
Yeah,
card?
any highlights?
The only one I wanted to point out real quick. Well, there's actually 2, but mostly just one, which is Ryan Couture. He's in the Facebook fight.
It's just you more want to see what
He
he
goes,
do, right?
he goes from main event to Facebook.
Yeah,
Wow.
but I'm just saying that it should show some relevance to it, because like
yeah.
either he deserves to be in MMA or he needs to go find a
Well,
different
deserve to be in the UFC. you
UFC,
mean.
yeah, or he needs to go a different route other than his father's route. So he's in the Facebook fights. He's fighting Eloquenta, who's coming off 2 losses. So if he can't be him, then you don't deserve to be on the UFC. and then real quick,
He's kind of young too.
I don't want to talk about it too long, but Jamie Varner's on the prelims
Yeah, he is,
against
yep.
Gibson Taobao, and Jamie Varner was on that incredible run, and then he kind of hit a bump with who did he lose to? He lost to Joe Lawson.
I think so.
But he was on a tear.
There was a while there when Joe
Yeah.
was being everybody.
Yeah.
So he was on a tear, and he made that upset. So he kind of cooled down. So maybe let's see if he can reheat himself again and show another resurgence.
So let's start into the main card,
main card
now. We have the first fight, which is a
Yeah, it's Joe Lawson they lost to, just in case.
which is a featherweight fight. We have Dustin Poirier versus Eric Couch.
No, I know.
How do you
don't
say that? Coke.
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 Oh, no,
I gotta correct myself because I think I did hear Coke.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and if you have listened to our podcast before, I mean,
We're
all we
big
do-
on both of them.
All we pretty much do is rave on Dustin Poirier and how amazing he is.
Especially after watching the documentary.
Yeah, especially
Documentary.
And
Fightville.
Fiveville.
Oh yeah. He's in
Or-
there. Yeah.
and,
Fightville, yeah.
and he's 24 years old, so he's about to reach the point of no return, actually, because once you get to the age he's in, you gotta make strides or you're gonna be on your way down.
Yeah, you either have to make it. The room for making improvements is kind of you give you the age range where you should be at this age, be good at what you do, and just get better at what you do, as opposed to
Yeah, and he lost against Red Hot Cub Swanson, so I mean,
yeah, you can't knock him for that.
Yeah, you
yeah,
can't knock him
it's
for
it's
that.
hard to knock him, but he still. This is the time right now, so he needs to push forward and keep on going. He's 24. This is the time to do it. And again,
Well,
like
he's still young. 24 still young.
yeah, he's still young, but this is the point where you start making those strides. I think.
Yeah.
To
You make
enter his
little-
prime. I think people usually could say, what, 27,
Yeah, I'm
28,
like,
29,
yeah,
you enter
your
your,
prime
your
time, yeah.
prime in
So he
athletics.
has
So,
2-3 years more.
but you can't take any more steps back.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can't
we're
take
trying to
steps
say.
back. You got to
But yeah,
step forward.
But again, to give him some credit, I mean, he lost to Cub Swanson, and Cub Swanson's on a tear right now,
Mhm.
even being considered to be a title contender. So
What about Ricardo Lamas? Anyways,
Hey, he always has to bring him up. I told you.
Anyways,
Your
move,
boy,
move.
Ricardo
Move.
Lama.
boy.
So now it's time for Albert to take a nap during the pay-per-view.
Okay.
It's a heavyweight bout. It's Brandon Vera versus Ben Rothwell.
You know what's gonna suck too? It's gonna be just like last time. I'm not gonna be able to take a good nap because it might be quick.
Well, maybe
So
you
wait.
can go make popcorn.
I know this is Brandon Vera's planned return to heavyweight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this was a scheduled return to heavyweight,
That's-
which makes absolutely no sense to me. But I guess.
I mean, he was kind of on a run back when the heavyweight division was kind of at a weak state in the UFC. But what makes him think he could maybe make a dent in the UFC heavyweight division now?
yeah, because clearly his problem was he was too small of a
Yeah.
heavyweight in the first place,
I mean, you have guys like Bigfoot Silva now,
Yeah.
also over.
Oh, yeah.
and the guys just got bigger.
Ben
so
Rothwell's a big dude too, so
unless he put on like 50 pounds of muscle, I don't know why he went up to heavyweight.
Well, have you seen him recently?
Actually, I haven't seen him recently. Then, but
No.
I
Why,
can.
do you have
I
something
highly
to
doubt
share
it.
with us, or
No,
Oh,
I don't.
you
I
know
thought
something.
we
You had
don't know?
something.
No,
Like, have
I'm
you
just
seen him
saying
recently?
because we're talking
I
about
seen him at
body
the
type.
gym pumping, bro. All right, he's
You
big.
been hanging out with Ben Rivera now? You been telling me?
No,
Is
there's
that
no
where we
way.
going?
Anyways, he's playing Ben Rothwell, who
A tough dude,
who's
I
coming,
mean,
but he's coming off
yeah.
a loss against Gabriel Gonzaga, but Gabriel Gonzaga was on his little mini tear.
Yeah. I think Ben Rothwell, he was welcomed to the UFC by Cain Velasquez and just hasn't really fully recovered
Yeah,
from
he
there.
hasn't
Yeah.
found
He
his
hasn't
footing.
got any
He hasn't
traction
found
at
his
all
footing,
whatsoever
yeah.
in the UFC.
But
so.
I think this is a good way to actually get his footing into UFC. I
Start getting some momentum
Brandon
in his
Vera,
favor.
Brandon Vera is a name fighter, and I think a knockout will certainly put him in that top 10 position,
Yeah.
or
What
at
do
least to fight for a top 10
If
position.
Brandon Vera's not successful at heavyweight, what do you see? I mean, like
He
To tell you the truth, I didn't really even like his commentary when I saw him do the analyst work. So I don't know. Maybe he's a good trainer. I don't know.
Wow.
well,
well, the
that's-
UFC likes him. They keep bringing him back. So.
Yeah, that's true.
And then after I finish my popcorn, I'm ready to eat it because we
Okay.
got
A featherweight
a
fight.
stacked fight right now.
It's Clay Guida versus Chad Money Mendez. That's what he's excited
And
about.
who are we picking in this fight, really?
He's throwing the
By
money
his
out
hand
there.
symbols
That's so I'm
and Gabriel's
gonna say.
introduction, he's all Clay Guida and Chad Money Mendez. And you can pretty much tell who we favor in this room,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And I mean the alpha males are just
On a tear.
on a vicious tear. I mean that whole camp. I mean they
Take your pick.
they're
of who
the
to
camp
change
that
with.
the Black Zillions wish they could be. I'll tell you that right now.
Maybe they should get the services of Dwayne Ludwig. Then maybe the
Yeah.
Black Zillions
Yeah.
would actually make some damage.
Dane Lundgren must have been a better coach than he was a fighter because
Well, obviously it's showing. Look
he
at-
is doing something
What-
amazing with that camp.
What should be a good fight unless Clay Guida goes back to safe mode?
Dude, Chad Money Mendez is a wrestler.
Yeah.
He can go back to safe mode all he wants. You're fighting a top caliber wrestler. You ain't taking him down.
What's great-
You ain't slowing
yeah,
down the pace
that's
with Chad
true.
Money Mendez.
But you can tell what's great about alpha males is like, how do you say it, like in all team sports is when a team buys into a coach's philosophy.
Yeah.
You can tell the whole camp is just bought into Dwayne Ludwig.
Yeah.
Whatever he says, they're eating up and they're
and
listening
whatever
to him.
it is, it just made those gears turn because these guys are
Yeah.
on a steadfast.
They're
path. I
all
mean,
buying into Bang's philosophy. And
I
they're-
think
it's showing
2014
tenfold.
is going to be the year of the Alpha Man. I think they're all going to seize maybe some championships, each one of them.
I think if Chad Money Mendez beats Clay Guida, he should go face Jose Aldo.
Well,
No
I've
doubts
I've been
about it.
saying that
After
since day one.
Aldo returns from
Above
injury, right?
Ricardo Lamas.
Yeah.
Above Cub Swanson.
What the?
It-
Ricardo Lamas? Maybe you should get Ricardo Lamas next. How about that? Then we'll talk title
We'll
shot.
see.
Oh, so now you're favoring Ricardo
No,
Lamas over Chad Money Mendez.
no, never. Money
And
Mendez
then,
all the way.
Not that many people know, but
Oh, so
we have a Josh Barnett fan here.
What
we
the-
do?
Ooh.
He's right over there.
What? The,
so
I, you're you definitely misquoting me now.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little mad.
You cut us off for to reference that he likes Josh Barnett.
was a
I
when he clearly-
reference.
never liked Josh Barnett whatsoever.
Oh.
So we have a heavyweight fight that should have happened years ago because now it's a little bit not as relevant. We have
Well, Josh Barnett has to fight somebody.
yeah, so it's Josh
Come on
Barnett
now.
versus
He
Frank
can't fight
Mir.
himself.
So is there anything Josh Barnett gains from winning if he beats Frank Mir? Even though Frank Mir hasn't been looking way better.
Well, he's wrestling
Fight
on
after fight.
with Greg Jackson, so
Yes.
he's trying to evolve his
Yeah.
game. Josh Barnett, he made a pretty good living outside the UFC doing what he does ground and pound. I think he needs a win in impressive fashion without ground and pound because, as we all know, Dana White is not a fan of the ground and pound. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, well, I think it's gonna be a quick fight because I think Josh Brennan's gonna clinch, bring him down, finish it. But enough said about that. Let's get to the main event.
So you're done with your second bag of popcorn.
Yeah, I'm done with that popcorn. Now the big one. It's Henderson versus Anthony Pettis. So
championship fight.
wow. I mean, I can't even. I don't even know how to dissect this because they're both good at everything. And they're both exciting in everything.
The only thing I can say is I hope that Pettis didn't come back too fast from his injury.
That's true.
Just his opportunity, and that's going to deter from his performance in the fight. That's the only thing I'm hoping for, that he's actually 100% healthy and he's able to bring all he got to Benson Henderson.
Yeah, because it was a knee injury that took him down.
And this guy needs his knees for the kicks and for the, what I mean? So
hopefully he didn't rush it, and hopefully we see the fight that we all expect. But with that said, let's get to the survey results.
Survey result, it was 52% of people said that they would. What was the survey?
Oh, come on now.
I just forgot.
How do you
I just lost my train of thought.
Does UFC need a minor league?
Oh, yeah.
Minor league, development league, minor league system.
Yeah, it was 52% of people said that they they wouldn't want to see a minor league. And then 48% of people would prefer a minor league.
You have it. Oh my! I get
what are the numbers?
It looks
Bring
like
them up,
I have to take over this survey thing. 52% of our audience said that they would like to see a minor league, and 48% said they didn't.
So kind of close, actually. So
that
could be either way.
Yeah, it was very, very close. And our new survey is
with the free card on Wednesday night. Go ahead.
Oh, do you prefer to have the free UFC card or fight cards on the weekday, or do you prefer them on the weekends?
Could be like a little Monday Night Football. NBA has the showcase prime time during the week, so it might be easy that way for people to actually sit down and watch a free fight card during the week.
Yeah, so let us know. Log on to our Facebook, check us out on Instagram, MMAVictor.com.
We'll and for MMA Victor, we're going to stop.
And then we're going to put our picks as well on MMA Victor.
So join our group at MMAVictor.com for the Fight Night and UFC 164. Is that for today?
Yeah, that's it for today.
All right. I want to thank all of our sponsors, Honey Badger Performance Energy Drink. Go to drinkhoney.badger.com. I want to thank the Madhouse MMA. Go shop themadhouse.com. I want to thank Top Rated MMA, makers of 100% American-made MMA apparel. Go shop topratedmma.com. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at FiveRoundMMA. We're on Facebook, so like our page. We're on Instagram. Check out our photos, like our photos. And always make sure to check out FiveRoundMMA.com for weekly articles, commentaries, daily the day's top headlines, and our web show. And Elwer, get some final words.
Just want to thank our executive producer, Guillermo Cita, our Technician, Big Game, Ollie the Trolley, our sound engineer, Steven Rozzo with Rozzo Records. Check that out if you need any sound, anything. I mean, the guy does recording, live instruments, you name it. And thank everybody for listening.
Cream of the crop.